Okay. So you know how sometimes we all wish we had a little bit more,
More willpower.
yeah, willpower, discipline, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd dive into this article called How to Develop Discipline
Sounds good.
and see if there are any, interesting points or,
Moments.
yeah, exactly, aha moments.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we've talked about discipline before,
Yeah.
but I think this is going to be a deeper dive.
I think so too, because, I mean, who doesn't want to be more disciplined, right?
Yeah. Well, and not in like a robotic way.
Right. Not like a drill sergeant.
Yeah, but like how to actually get stuff done and reach your goals.
Exactly.
And this article actually said that discipline can be even more important than talent, which I thought was really
I
interesting.
know. It's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you can be really talented, but if you don't have the discipline to, like, hone that craft, you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly. So maybe we should start with how the article defines discipline.
Okay, so they actually talk about it in terms of consistency. So it's not just those, like,
Yes.
bursts of motivation
Right.
where you're like, I'm going to go to the gym every single day this week. And then you don't. It's like those daily choices that you make that are in alignment with your goals,
Okay.
even when you don't really feel like it.
So it's more like a habit.
It is, yeah. It's like building a muscle.
Okay.
The more you practice it, the stronger it gets.
And I think, something we should talk about is like, why is it so hard sometimes
Oh, yeah.
to be disciplined?
I mean, I'm the first to admit I struggle with this all the time.
Okay.
Like, you want to get up early and go for a run, but then you hit the snooze button.
Totally. Yeah. Or like you have a deadline and then suddenly you're like, I need to reorganize my entire closet.
Oh, yeah. I know that feeling.
Like, why do we do that?
Well, the article actually talks about this. It says that, like, a big part of building discipline is understanding why we struggle in the first place.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you have to figure out what your roadblocks are.
Right.
So if you're always procrastinating on a big project, is it because it feels overwhelming to you?
All right.
Or are you maybe afraid of failing?
Yeah.
Once you know what those personal sticking points are, you can start to build strategies that actually work for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so what are some of the strategies that the article talks about?
Okay, well, they talk about, like, starting small.
Okay,
So instead of, like, trying to change your entire life overnight,
right.
you pick one small thing and you focus on that.
Okay.
And you set really clear goals, like SMART goals.
Oh, yeah, SMART goals.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Yeah. And then they said something about building routines, right?
Yes, routines are super important because they kind of take the guesswork out of your day.
Yeah.
So, if you want to write a book, maybe you commit to writing one page every day at the same time.
That's a really good example.
That way it's not like this huge, overwhelming task. It's
Yeah.
just a small, manageable chunk.
Yeah, I think breaking things down like that really does help me.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
makes it less scary to start.
It does. And then once you start doing it, you build momentum.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've talked about strategies. What about the mindset part of discipline?
Oh, yes. The mindset is huge.
Yeah, the article talked about that.
Yeah, so they actually emphasize the importance of self-compassion,
Self-compassion, okay.
which basically means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times we're our own worst critics.
Oh, yeah.
And that negative self-talk can really sabotage our efforts.
So true.
So instead of beating yourself up over a setback, try viewing it as a learning opportunity.
Okay.
What can you do differently next time?
So it's like failing doesn't mean you lack discipline. It just means you're learning.
Exactly. It's all part of the process.
And the article also talks about visualization.
Oh, yes. Visualization is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
So basically, you take some time to vividly imagine yourself successfully achieving your goal. And that can actually strengthen your commitment to it.
So like if you can see it, you can be kind of.
Kind of, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you're tricking your brain into believing it's already happened.
Interesting. Okay. So I wanted to touch on something that I think kind of ties into all of this,
Okay.
which is the difference between motivation and discipline.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Because the article was saying that discipline is what helps you follow through
Yes.
even when the motivation fades.
Exactly, because motivation is fleeting.
Okay.
It comes and goes.
Right.
Discipline is what keeps you going even when you don't feel like it.
So how would you explain the difference between the two?
Okay, so think of it this way. Motivation is like a spark.
Okay.
It gets you started.
Right.
But discipline is the fuel that keeps you going.
Okay.
So let's say your goal is to learn a new language.
Okay.
You're probably super motivated at first. you know?
Excited.
Yeah, you're excited to start practicing.
Right.
But then what happens when that initial excitement wears off and you'd rather just like watch TV?
Totally.
That's when discipline kicks in. It's that commitment to keep practicing even when it's not the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah, that makes so much sense because you might start out motivated,
Right.
but then life gets in the way or it gets hard.
Exactly.
And that's when you need the discipline to keep going.
Exactly. And that's what separates the people who achieve their goals
From the people who don't.
from the people who don't. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I also wanted to touch on this point that the article made about our environment.
Oh, yes. The environment is so important.
Yeah.
It can either support your goals or sabotage them.
Right.
So you have to be really mindful of your surroundings.
So, like, what kind of things should people be thinking about?
Well, like, let's say your goal is to eat healthier.
Okay.
You want to make sure that your kitchen is stocked with healthy food
Right.
and that you're not surrounded by junk food all the time.
Yeah.
Or if you're trying to focus on work, you want to create a dedicated workspace that's free from distractions.
So no TV, no phone.
No TV, no phone, ideally, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. So we're kind of getting towards the end here.
Okay.
I guess the main takeaway is that building discipline is like a journey,
It is, yeah.
not a destination.
It's not like you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm disciplined now.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process.
Okay.
It's about consistently making those choices that align with your goals.
Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Well, I would just say be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Celebrate those small victories
Lacey.
and never underestimate the power of consistent effort.
That's good.
Like, what's one small step that you can take today to move closer to your goals?
Yeah.
And what can you change in your environment to support your efforts?
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive on discipline.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was. And we hope you learned some helpful tips
Yeah.
and feel inspired to unlock your own inner powerhouse.
Your inner powerhouse.
Mhm.
I love that.
All right, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.